Hi, and welcome to Pennsylvania Newsmakers, and thanks for watching. Well, Highmark has a new healthcare initiative for children, a part of the program you won't want to miss. Before that, an update on the governor's election after these words.
This is Pennsylvania Newsmakers, a fast-paced, unrehearsed weekly discussion with and about the leaders who shape your world. And now, here's your host.
Hi, welcome back to the program. Terry Madonna here for Pennsylvania Newsmakers. Well, we had the last of the gubernatorial debates this week, and the race now is going into its final couple of weeks. Joining me as often is the case are contributors Ray Smith from Radio Pennsylvania and Brad Bumsted from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Brad, let's get right to it. The last of the debates, pretty much the same as the other debates. The forum with the Pennsylvania Chamber of Commerce, and then the first of the debates in Pittsburgh, right?
Second was in Pittsburgh.
Tell me what happened? What did you get out of it?
Well, I think all three debates don't really affect the race that much. Second one may have helped Swan a little bit, maybe with some fundraising. But look, overall in this race, you know, Rendell still has a double-digit lead. Right. He's winning handily. It's not too late for Swan, but it's getting close.
Yeah. Ray, let me ask you this fundamental question. Swan has, I think, emerged as a much better candidate than the Lynn Swan we saw earlier in the year. He does now show a mastery of the subject matter. I think everybody would agree that he now at least can pose a different view of where he would take state government than Pennsylvania. But is it in effect, and now we're not going to end the race, I think anything could happen. He is down double digits. What he is doing now, should he have been doing this 4 or 5 months ago?
No doubt about it. There was an old pop song. It was done by Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams. It was called Too Much, Too Little, Too Late.
Too little. I have to remember
too
that.
late.
Go ahead.
And that's exactly what's going on here. You don't. And Lynn Swan should have known this. You don't come into a football game and expect to start playing late in the third quarter. Yeah. Because that's exactly what happened. They really didn't get off the schneid, if you'll pardon the expression, until about a month ago, and really dive into this race. Yeah. So yes, exactly. This should have happened a long time ago. If you're talking about a heavyweight fight, right, and you're going in the ring against a champion, you've got to land punches early, and you've got to land them often, and you've got to keep going after them. They failed to do that in this campaign, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're in the shape they're in.
Go ahead.
The best case that can be made for Swan at this point is he is hitting his stride as a candidate.
Agreed.
He's sounding good. He's articulate, seems to know the issues better. Right. Some would say not the total command, but he's looking good out there. He's raising more money than is expected, and he has a couple good issues, the pay raise and property taxes. There are visceral issues with voters. What else it's going to take, I'm not sure. I think it's going to take something beyond the two of them, something we can't foresee at this point. It would have to be some unforeseen event.
But Ed Rendell, look, not arguably, you can disagree with Ed Rendell's policies, and there's certainly room for disagreement. I think we would all, everyone would own up to that. But no one can argue he is not a great campaigner. I mean, even his political enemies say this guy can't. In fact, they often say that. He's a great campaigner, even though we disagree with him. Is it likely that Ed Rendell will make some kind of a mistake big enough that will make a difference, given his experience?
No, I don't see that happening, especially now as we're into the home stretch. This is the turn. They've come out of the last debate. I think Ed Rendell, was very polished. I think a lot more focused, a lot better focused in this last debate that took place in Philadelphia. And plus, he was in front of a friendly panel of Philadelphia media people, which I think helped him along as well. But still, all of that aside, this guy is a tremendous retail campaigner, connects with people one-to-one, and certainly when he's speaking to people, he gives you the eye contact and makes you feel like he's speaking to you specifically. The man is a terrific retail campaigner.
I noticed also, just on a lighter moment, that he had the makeup was great. Now, when he comes on this program, and he's actually hosted this program, I offered both parties, a chance to host this before the 2004 national conventions, and the governor hosted the show. He does no makeup, but he looked 10 years younger. I wonder what was going on, but go ahead. Just for the lighter moment here.
Sure. Ed Rendell is possibly the best politician I've seen in 25, 30 years. He's superb, and it showed in these debates. But no, he is not going to make the kind of mistake we're talking about. I don't see that happening at all. But he doesn't control everybody who works for him. He doesn't control everybody on his campaign in the state agencies. So something could happen beyond his control
well, that's true.
That we can't foresee at this moment.
Yeah, but the environment right now, Ray, is pretty good for Democrats. I mean, you know, when we talked about other elections, when Tom Ridge won, you know, in '94 and re-elected in '98, it was a pretty good year for Republicans. This is a pretty good environment. The unemployment is relatively low. The state had 3 straight surpluses. Governor Rendell is handing out all these hundreds of millions of dollars in money appropriated by a Republican legislature, by the way. Touting his record, Swan has, as Brad points out, maybe 2 issues he could use: reform, property tax, and the pay hike. Do they seem, when he's using them, to be resonating in a big way?
Not in a big way, no. It doesn't appear to be that way. He has tried to explain his property tax plan, which is fundamental reform. When you get right down to it, it's long-term reform. It's not a quick fix. It's not an immediate situation. It's going to require a constitutional amendment. It's going to take a heck of a lot of work, and especially when you want to deal with the assessment system in the property tax area. But no, they're not resonating.
And Brad, you know, because you've written lots of articles over the years about governors' elections, when you get into talking about constitutional amendments, that is not exactly a formula that the voters can look at and say, let's run to it, let's do this. They may want to do it, but it's not something that immediately helps you in a campaign.
No, it's not, although I think his statement of fact that Rendell promised a 30% tax cut and people didn't get it is something they can relate to. I think in terms of the pay raise, there's a residual anger about that, particularly in western Pennsylvania, maybe in central Pennsylvania, and that's out there. And if any argument were to be made for Swan's campaign, and if we were to come back later and say, how did this happen, it would be that anger is far greater than any of us realize. A long shot, of course.
Okay.
And Swan has some other things to fight, too. He has to fight a national climate right now, where a lot of the mainstream media is anti-Republican. So, you know, there's a lot of disadvantage.
Great update. We'll have you back as the campaign progresses. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear about Highmark's Health High Five initiative for children. It's a new initiative kicked off earlier this month by Highmark. We'll take that subject up when we return.
This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by Pennsylvania Medical Society. Doctors and patients preserve the relationship. And by the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association. Business in Pennsylvania is our business.
Hi, welcome back to the program. Now we're going to talk about a new initiative from Highmark called Highmark Healthy High Five. Joining me to discuss that is Sam Bressi, who's the president of the Susan P. Burns Health Education Center in York, Pennsylvania. Aaron Walton, the senior vice president of corporate affairs at Highmark, and Quaylen Nassar, who is the project director for Highmark Healthy High Five. First of all, that is a tongue twister, isn't it? Quaylen, come on. Now, you're running this program.
It is,
but it's neat. I like. Do you call it Triple H5? Is that?
Well, actually, when we do it, anytime we write it, it's HHH5. But you know,
why not Triple H5? You think people will refer to it? I'm not remaking your marketing, okay?
Thank you.
But I like that. I love that. That is neat. All right, Aaron, we're gonna start with you. Tell our viewers what it is. What it is.
The Highmark Healthy High Five is a 5-year, $100 million initiative of the Highmark Foundation designed to promote health and wellness in children ages 6 to 18. We did a lot of research, and we found out that we can perhaps have the greatest impact on children, adolescents. So that's why we're investing.
Quaylen, look, isn't this the old story that if we invest early in a situation, we do this in education. You know, we find out if we get people to learn how to read earlier, if they get good study habits. Professor here, of course I'm going to use that analogy. Isn't it the same for healthcare? If we get young kids into good, healthy routines with checkups, you can work on diet. Isn't that better in the long run for all of us?
Well, if they are able to develop these behaviors early on, they'll keep them throughout life, and that's the main goal here. One of the things and one of the reasons why we're looking at adolescents between 6 to 18 is that we know, particularly in that middle school area, that that's the time when we can change a lot of those behaviors. But there are still, we don't want to eliminate teens. There's some peer-to-peer behaviors that go on there, and we're developing those programs with our partners in order to be able to have teens do some influences on their peers as well.
All right, let's talk about you're one of the partners.
Correct.
Involved in the program. What is your? How do you fit in specifically?
What we're called by the initiative is the Healthy High Five Signature Partner. We are the Burns Health Education Center, and we have been in existence since 1995. Our mission is to educate and inspire people of all ages to make healthy choices. We exist for what you just described, bringing education early to get people on the right track, particularly kids, on the right track to make healthy choices. What we've begun to work on with a Highmark Foundation several years ago, in fact, about 4 years ago, is a service that provides lesson plans and activities to make education regarding health topics fun and engaging in the classroom. And it's called learntobehealthy.org and ties back to this initiative.
Okay. Let me go back to what is this being run out of the Highmark Foundation itself?
Yes.
Why did you all decide to do this?
Because the Highmark Foundation has more extensive reach. We can cover all the residents in our 49-county area by using the Highmark Foundation.
All right.
And it's open to everyone, not just Highmark customers, but the whole community.
All right. So you have 100. Let me sum this up for our viewers. So Highmark's going to put $100 million into this. You're going to have partners. You're going to develop these programs. Are these programs going to be programs that can be accessed by schools, or is it by health centers throughout the state? What, you're smiling. Do I got this right? Or
Yeah, you really, actually you do. I mean, the key factor in the programs is that they have to be evidence-based, which means that they have to be able to prove that there's going to be a measurable outcome. I mean, we want to make sure at the end of the 5-year period that we have made an impact and that we have changed behaviors. And that's built into all of this. So yes, it's going to be school-based. Some cases it's going to be an after-school program. Certainly when we get into our awareness avenues, that's going to be, the general public. So we're looking at every avenue possible in being able to educate, the public and particularly 6 to 18 about the 5 areas that Healthy High Five is committed to.
We're going to talk about the 5 areas after we return. Back in a moment.
This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by the Pennsylvania Credit Union Association. Pennsylvania Credit Unions, where people are worth more than money. And by the Energy Association of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania's energy information source. This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by the State System of Higher Education, 14 state-owned universities. The state system is the largest provider of higher education in Pennsylvania, and by the Hospital and Health System Association of Pennsylvania, working towards a healthy Pennsylvania.
Hi, welcome back to Pennsylvania Newsmakers. We're talking about Highmark Healthy High Five, HHH5, or as I have now called it, Triple H5. We're going to put the website up in a moment. You can jump on the website and learn more about the program. Aaron, let me turn to you. There are 5 health areas. Is that the way to describe it?
There are 5 areas.
You're all going to deal with?
That's right. 3 of the areas happen to deal with emotional well-being, and 2 of them your physical state. The 5 platform areas are physical activity, nutrition, grieving children, bullying, and self-esteem. Those are the 5 platform areas.
Okay, now each one of those, we do have extensive research in a lot of this, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, and one of the things that we did do was extensive research, and one of the major areas and one of the major reasons why we looked at these 5 was, first of all, their health experts have said to us that, the next generation of children are going to live sicker and die younger than the generation before. So that's like the first time in our history. And if you think about that, that's hugely impactful.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And part of that is because of childhood obesity, so that's physical activity and nutrition. Part of it is that bullying has become so huge because there's not just the kind of bullying that we've had in school, but you have cyberbullying. Now kids are being bullied through text messages and so forth.
I won't get into that, but that's actually emerged as an issue not an issue in the gubernatorial campaign, but the candidates were talking about it, where I think both of them, the one thing, I don't know what Lynn Swan and Ed Rendell all agree on, but I do think there is a consensus about that. So that's Now, at your, go ahead.
Well,
jump in here. No, just jump in.
I think we have a choice. We have a choice, and we have to make it today. The choice is we can wait 10 or 20 or 30 years and deal with the consequences of what we just got done talking about, or we can take action now and do something comprehensive and cohesive to stem the tide and change the direction that we're headed at this point from a health perspective. Getting to our kids, what Highmark Foundation is now investing in is a piece. It's a first step. It's the tip of the spear of investing in our children at the youngest age and giving them the tools and the skills they need to make healthier choices.
All right, now let me get I want to reiterate this and make sure I understand this. In all of these 5, you call them platform areas or health areas, there will be specific information that will be available for teachers and others to use, is that correct?
Absolutely.
Or the community to use that they can access? Now, will these sort of be guidelines and you know, sort of the do's and the don'ts, or are you not along the line, you know, are you not well enough along the line to know exactly what you will be producing?
Terry, the answer is yes. It will be all of those things.
Oh, that's good. I like yes answers. I normally get a lot of no's out. Go ahead.
It's actually a three-pronged approach. The first one will be making grants to organizations such as the Burns Health Center who have evidence-based programs dealing with children. And we have metrics assigned to those to determine that we're actually making the progress we want to make. The second is an awareness component, actually educating parents, children, etc. And the third piece is going to be one that involves the community and getting employees, getting employers to get involved in activities to support these 5 platform areas. So it's a three-pronged approach.
So, Quayle, so this in a sense is not a one-size-fits-all deal. And make sure our viewers understand this, that when you are actually out implementing this and with the grants that you're giving, it will be possible for people to use this information and then, I'll use the word manipulate, or massage is a better word, massage it for their own purposes? Is that
what's going to happen? Is there's going to be a variety of programs, and our goal is to be able by the end of the 5 years to have reached all of the 49 counties that are served by Highmark, but and even beyond in some cases with some of our signature partners that we're having. But, you know, when you look at this, we want to make sure that those programs that we're doing are going to be available to the largest amount of people. And we're looking at those programs when we talk about a signature partner, just as Sam's organization, we're talking about a partner whose program that we know is effective and that can be replicated around the state.
We're going to go to a break, and then I'm going to come back and ask Sam, given what we've just heard, how is it that you think you'll be able to use this? First of all, where is this in the process? Is it you started this program a month ago? Do I understand? About a month ago?
Right.
Yes.
Where is this in? Where are you? Procedurally?
We have some programs that are already in effect. There were some programs that we had going, and we're now adding to those programs and expanding them.
We're going to run to a break. Sam, we'll start this next segment with you. We're going to ask you how specifically you're going to use what you get and how effective you think it'll be, and we'll do that when we return.
This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by Highmark Blue Shield, changing the way health plans work for business with a variety of plan options for employers and more choices for employees. Information is available at highmark.com. Have a greater hand in your company's health. And by the Pennsylvania Healthcare Association, the future of long-term care. This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by the Pennsylvania Builders Association, building today for a better tomorrow, and by the Pennsylvania Cyber Charter School, bringing educational innovation and freedom to the children of Pennsylvania.
Hi, welcome back to the program. We're talking about Highmark Healthy High Five. I can get that out now without any tongue twisting. It only took me about 20 minutes to do that. All right, Sam, you wanted to make some point when Quaylen was talking about these areas and how they would be implemented, that this is, in a sense, continuing in part what you and others have been doing.
Right, and we've been a partner with Highmark Foundation for 4 years now, and in construction of a website that will provide resources to schools and classrooms and students and parents on healthy living. And I think one of the main points as far as delivering the information and the grants and working with partners over the next 5 years is that it won't end after 5 years, because we really need to look at sustainability of programs. The Burns Health Education Center has been in existence for 11 and a half years now. I mean, we're a sustainable program. We have evidence-based programs that we're applying across the community, and it's important.
You also have a sense about what works and what doesn't work, and so I suspect that when you all are doing the whether it's a curriculum or whether it's guidelines, that it's within the context of what you already know, what works out there. I mean, it's not
what's been proven as well. I mean, I think that's another factor, and when we look at those organizations which apply for grants, I mean, that's one of the factors that we look at. And
Terry, as you said, it's all evidence-based. We're not looking at organizations that have not been involved in these issues before, because we're looking at impact, the potential impact. We feel that over the next 5 years, we can reach 1 million kids in western central Pennsylvania with these programs. That's why we're going to use signature partners, but we're going to use many partners throughout the community, not just the ones that we've been working with over the last 5 years, but there are many people doing things that are evidence-based, and we're looking for those types of organizations to work with us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it always seems that when we talk about programs, with great potential, and given this subject matter especially, it's hard to find. I mean, I'm just huge on developing young people, getting good habits in young people. I've been in education all my life. I mean, I see that development. Now, true, it's been at the collegiate level, but I know when students come into the classroom that I know that they have good study. I can tell when they have good study habits. I know that they've developed over the years. Now, it's not that people can't change, but what I think is exciting about this is the population you are trying to reach. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is the time when they form their habits for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And so if you look at a child who is obese now, there's a 70% likelihood that they're going to be obese as adults.
And who needs those, 6-week crash diets that aren't good? You get the last word.
If a child comes to school hungry, if a child comes to school without adequate rest, if they're bullied on the bus, they're not going to learn.
You're right.
These are basic health and education issues.
All right, Sam, now here's the deal. We're out of here. We got to run. You'll come back and give us a progress report?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks for watching this edition of Pennsylvania Newsmakers. We'll see you next weekend. This is very appropriate. Stay well.